Hi, and welcome back to Monday Morning Tech, where we fix Sunday's tech issues. Yesterday, we had a problem where the SQ6 was totally overdriving our ATEM Pro, and of course, the ATEM is new to us, and we had just set this up to run directly from the SQ6 output on the back right into the mic in. I had it running through digitally over the SDI, but there was a bit of a delay. In any case, we wanted to go analog. The problem is that the output on the SQ is a line level and the input on the ATEM was a mic level. And of course, that means you're going to overdrive the ATEM. And if you don't, if you turn it way down on the board, you just don't get any mix resolution. So our operator said it was on a razor's edge between being way too loud and just not having any control at all. So it's a big problem. Well, fortunately, it's a simple solution. The SQ6 doesn't allow you to actually change that level, but the ATEM does. So here in the ATEM software, we have, this is the icon for the ATEM software control. We have this little gear icon down here in the corner, and we go to audio and then go over to general, and you have this line level right here. So mic 1, line level, and you're done. That's it. It's fixed. Now, I did notice, however, that there's something else here, this split audio. So if you put this split audio on, what you end up with is stereo, which is actually what we were sending. So we're sending left and right down this cable, and it was receiving a balanced signal. You don't really want to do that. Balanced and stereo are two different things. I won't get into that, but what we want is this stereo. And now we can actually mix in stereo. So let me show you what that looks like. So on the SQ, if we're in the stream mix, we have separate control from the house over our pan. So if I turn this mic on, there we go. I can go left, and you can see here on the ATEM, it's receiving only the left channel. And of course, if I pan all the way over right, it's going to receive just the right channel. So you may or may not use this, but it does allow you to get a little more separation in the mix. And of course, your question might be, well, how do I hear that? Well, I also set this up. So this is just a simple headphone amp. You'll notice here it has the stereo and mono. So we'll switch that over to stereo. And then you have your monitor volume. So that's a separate volume. And of course, we're going monitor in. And then we're coming out of the board on channel 5 and 6, or the local output 5 and 6, but it's the same exact output as what the ATEM is getting. So you notice here it's on the same line. Of course, one issue you're going to run into with this is that your ATEM may not be getting the same kind of volume that you're hearing through your headphones. Because you have that separate control on the headphone amp, you can't really trust your ears for the overall volume. The balance will be the same, but the overall volume may not be. So that's where you have to rely on the visual volume meters, those VU meters that you see both on the Cam Ops screen and on the iPad. Now, ideally, what we would do is balance those two VU meters so that the one on the iPad is representative of what the ATEM is actually getting. So there's really only one way to do that, and that's through the gain setting on the ATEM. So let me show you what that looks like. And this is something that could be done during practice. So if you notice that there's a significant discrepancy between what you're seeing here, right here on this VU meter under stream, should be relatively close to what you're seeing on the screen over on the ATEM Cam Ops screen. If you're not, then it needs to be corrected. So there's really only one way to do this, in my opinion, and that's to change the gain on the ATEM. Now, you could use the faders, and I think you could do that a little bit for some fine-tune control, especially on the ATEM. But if you change this fader up on the SQ, it's just going to turn it up in both places, so it's not going to balance it out. The reason I wouldn't use just the faders on the ATEM is because you might run out of headroom and you lose some of that like fine resolution control that we talked about earlier. So really the best way to do this is to use the gain on the ATEM. And that's only available to us in the software itself. So this is something that we're going to have to do before the service. So as we're kind of getting that initial setting for the stream, what you want to do is just take a peek at the VU meters on the cam ops, and then take another peek at your iPad and just see if they're matching up okay. And if they are, great. If not, then you'll want to go in and open this software, this ATEM software control, and maybe adjust this gain up and down accordingly. So let me show you what that looks like. So you'll notice here is our master volume. So this is the one we really want to keep an eye on. We don't want this peaking out. So you'll notice here I'm just hitting 0, and here I'm just kind of getting up into that red as I go. So I could bring this down again. That's some fine-tune control. That's going to balance it out a little bit. But if you bring the gain down just a hair, then it's really going to start to balance that out. And ideally, what we want is this to be at 0, so we have some nice control. Now again, the goal here is that we don't want this peaking out. So if you're going to err on one side or the other, err on the side of this being too quiet. And I know that's different because normally we're trying to get as much as we can to the stream. We had trouble with that before, but at this point, we're really trying not to peak this out. So we've got a good representation here, I think. We've turned this down a little bit, and it's a pretty good volume. If we wanted to get a little bit more out of it, we could do that with the fader, and that'll bring that up just a little bit. And again, what we don't want to do is crank it up so high that, see, now we're in that red. If we just kick any more volume out of it, it's going to blow people's speakers at home. Just kidding, it won't do that. It'll just sound really staticky and distorted. So I can already see as soon as I get any more volume out of it, I need to bring that back a little bit more. So it's something to watch. It's kind of hard to tell when it's just me on my mic, but you should be able to tell during practice whether or not we're peaking out. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully this is going to work a lot better for us. It's going to be a lot more robust. Most of the things that are connected are analog, so should be really easy to troubleshoot as well. And now that we have the settings right, you just want to watch that control, make sure that we're not peaking out. Thanks again for watching, and let's try not to have these Mondays anymore, but I doubt it. We're definitely going to have more of these. It's just how it is. Thanks for watching.